and members of the media. On Bela Bill Act, we spoke to Panyaza that we need a march of all those who support the Bela Bill, because it looks like there's only one side that is being heard, or impression is created that there is one side which actually has got monopoly over the Bela Bill. So we are not going to sit back. And the reason why I told Panyaza is because they are still the largest majority, and that march will have to happen in Gauteng. So we don't want to create a situation where the impression is created that ANC is going to join an EFF march, and you know them with their ego. They will have a problem. They will stay away. But we are prepared to hold hands with everyone who support that the president must sign the bill. I mean, the sections that he did not sign off the other day, we want them to be signed off, because that is at the center of the transformation of education. And anyone progressive will not be doubtful that those are the sections that are going to transform the sector of education and transform society, because society is constituted through education. That's why education becomes a highly contested terrain. Afrikanerdom, to be what it is, it thrives through education and culture. So it's important to get education, to get culture, to get sports in order to create a national identity. In the absence of such a progressive education, which advocates for transformation, we'll continue to have a divided society. And that's what makes us feel very strong. A message has been communicated clearly to President Ramaphosa that he needs to sign, and he needs to sign now. And in the couple of weeks, if he has not signed, whether the ANC is coming on board or not, we are going to be mobilizing our people and going to march to the union building that the president must sign the Bela Bill, because that is what we have supported throughout in Parliament. I think the leadership has answered the question on availability. The Progressive Caucus is based on the Progressive Charter, and that charter only applies in Parliament. So it's not based on anyone who agrees with what is in the charter can belong to a Progressive Caucus. You don't have to be left. As long as you agree with the bare minimum of what we seek to achieve in Parliament, you can sign. We fully agree with you. There is nothing left about MKP. There is nothing internationally progressive about MKP. I always ask the question, have you ever seen Zuma wearing a Palestinian scarf? He wears everything, including amabesho. But he never wears the Palestinian scarf. Even the most reactionary man called Sir Ramaphosa, who became a president through the Jewish money and Jewish support, wears a Palestinian scarf, except President Zuma. Leave that. Have you ever heard him speaking about the Palestinian question? Even if he speaks about it in Zulu, have you ever heard him speaking about the Palestinian question? Sunday Times goes to have a sit down with him. They don't ask him that question. What is your view about ICC decision on Netanyahu? What is your view about Palestine? Where do you stand in relation to Cuba and its embargo? Where do you stand in relation to China and Russia? So, and this over glorification that he has signed for BRICS and all of that, it's work that he found there. It's not his own initiatives. He has got no track record of initiating anything that can unify anyone. He's got no such. So, we are not leaving any progressive caucus. You know, we are working so well with those comrades in Parliament of MKP in relation to issues of Parliament. Let's take, for example, I was in a meeting now this weekend not this weekend, the past week or a week before in Parliament of Ethics Committee, where we were nominating the co-chairpersons of the committee. Ntlamulo nominated J.P. Klope, and Mandisa Makasini of the EFF supported the nomination of J.P. Klope. We did not get the necessary numbers. And I nominated Mandisa as a co-chairperson from NCOP of the EFF, Makasini, and Ntlamulo of MK supported the name of Mandisa. There was no caucus position, nothing. But there is a principal agreement amongst us as parties that we are opposed to GNU. And wherever GNU raises its ugly head, we'll confront it, we'll crush it. We don't have to exchange notes. We don't have to have a caucus in order to, because we have agreed on a minimum program. So we're going to work together. Why would I not work together with someone who says, let's support the expropriation of land without compensation? Even Helen Zille, if she can come and say, let's expropriate without compensation, I will hug her. Because that's what the EFF stands for. The progressive charter is based on the 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars of the EFF, by the way, if you don't know. Go and read the progressive charter of the Progressive Caucus and compare with the 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars of the EFF. You will realize this is a copy and paste of what the EFF stands for. I remember the only contribution was made by from MKP by Mklitama, where we said expropriation of land without compensation for equal redistribution. Mklitama said, let's not use equal, let's use equity. No, he didn't say equity. He said a word, man. We said for equal redistribution, and then he said something else, but he had a problem with the word equal. And he was saying we must put equity or something. Yeah, so that's how much the discussion went about towards the adoption of that progressive chart. Netanyahu, we support it. We support the warrant of arrest for Netanyahu for violation of human rights, for genocide, for killing innocent people. I have already written a question to President Ramaphosa, a parliamentary question, asking him, if Netanyahu comes to South Africa, will you arrest him the same way you said you'll arrest Putin? He has to answer that question. Because Ramaphosa has got another headache. Because Putin must come to South Africa next year, November, for G20. What's going to happen? Is he going to threaten to arrest him the same way he did? Or is he going to, in a cowardice manner, tell him not to come? But he can go to Putin's home. But he can allow Putin to come to his home. What a coward. Let Ramaphosa pronounce from his mouth. He's going to answer that question. He's either going to answer it now, because you don't ask him critical questions. You ask him artificial questions. That question is going to arise when he appears next in Parliament. And I will ask him, will you arrest Netanyahu if he brings his big shoe, ugly shoe, to South Africa? Because he must be arrested. And that premier of Western Cape said he was going to arrest Putin. We will arrest Netanyahu ourselves. If Cyril is not prepared to arrest Netanyahu, we will mobilize our people, we'll go and arrest him. If he dare comes to South Africa, if he knows what is good for him, he must never come to this country. We don't harbor murderers and killers of children and women. We are for human rights. We are with the people of Palestine, and we do not doubt ourselves when it comes to that. MKP, did it reach out to us and all of that, they've never reached out to us. But the majority of President Zuma, if there is anything like that for him, given the relationship we have, when some prominent leaders of the EFF were going to MK, he had a responsibility to give us a courtesy call. If he's really an elder, if he's really matured, if he's really a statesman who's got this relationship with us, whereas we're trying to build a progressive caucus that will unite black people, he had a duty to say, hey man, there is this thing that is going to happen. You must know that I have nothing to do with it. I can't choose for members, which is right. He can't choose for people whether they want to come or they don't want to come. But that courteous call, which he often made to me when on other matters, on this matter, he never cared to make that call. And that makes the relations to be strained, by the way. Because when you think you've got this kind of relationship with someone and you get treated like you are nothing, you also start behaving like you are nothing to them. If you are nothing to them, they are nothing to you. And that's it. That's the end of it. It's like Vuyani knows that my wife is involved in infidelity. He keeps quiet. He doesn't tell me. When I find out and I ask Vuyani, he says, no, I knew, but it was not my place to tell you. That is a betrayal. That's not loyalty. It's like these people who are in the EFF who say to us, we knew so-and-so was going to leave, but did not tell the leadership. And they still want the relationship to be the same. You cannot know such information and not tell me and expect me to trust you. I do not trust them, and I will never trust them. Because trust is earned when you show loyalty at a point when it is needed. Not loyalty of nice time. When it's nice, no, we are loyal, president, CIC. When things are bad, you can't show that loyalty. You must show loyalty at the most tested moments. You sit there comfortably with people who are telling you an issue that is going to bring the organization into disrepute, an issue that is going to negatively affect the organization, and say, no, it was not my place to tell you. Where is loyalty there? You're not loyal. And people who are not loyal must never be trusted by anyone. They will kill you. You will die. You must vakervort. Hey, you and so must make and be together. We're fine. We're colleagues, we're fine. It ends there. So, when you have shown loyalty to people, when you have been loyal, and you don't have a sense of betrayal, wait for the day you get betrayed. You will understand how we feel about betrayal. We, loyal people. We've never done anything to harm these people. I always ask and I always say to these comrades, for every moment there must be a turning point. You must say, it was at this point when I knew that we're heading for divorce now. What was that point? Can they point that point where they say, this was a turning point? This was a turning point. No one can point at that turning point. Because a turning point helps, because even if you are in denial, but you'll know we fought on this point. You go and sit with people who are telling you they are leaving the EFF. You say, have you prayed about it? Have your mom prayed about it? and then you keep quiet. And then you think we must all survive through prayer. Now we must be informed by prayer, by Holy Spirit that people are going when you've got information. That is the highest form of disloyalty. And Godrich says, even if he had told me as a joke, I would have brought it to the attention of the leadership that this guy made a silly joke. This is what he said. That's what loyalty is about. Loyalty means defend the organization in private and in public. Our organization went through a particular period where all leaders had to come out and defend it, and you were not there. Why must I be there for you? Why should the organization be there for you when you were not there, when the organization needed you the most? And people go around here raising names of such people and they think we must still trust them too, having known what these people have done to the organization. The organization gets insulted. The leadership gets insulted. In your name, people even threaten to disrupt EFF's conference. In your name, you keep quiet and then you say, we must say loyal. What loyal? You will rather be alone, my brother. My sister, you will rather be alone than to force yourself in a relationship that is not working. I'm using relationship to simplify this disloyalty that we have experienced ourselves. And how do I come to know that this person has known, that one has known about Floyd going? They don't volunteer even after he left. They don't volunteer to come and tell me. They wait for me to come and ask them, did you know? Yes. For how long? For over 2 weeks now. Why did you keep quiet? I didn't see a need for me to tell you. That was a turning point for me with them. They must tell you what was their turning point with me. My turning point with them was when they kept the information away from me. An information that has got potential to destroy the organization, damage its beautiful reputation, and bring it into disrepute. They keep quiet. And then I must talk for them. I must defend them when they could not defend the organization. Hell no. They can go to hell. I'm not going to do that. Even if that means we must lose vote, I'm not going to fight for votes by sitting with people who are disloyal. Because I want votes. I must spend time with people who are disloyal. You know what it means to be an official. We have a meeting of the top 6 and they say the most highest form of secrets of the EFF because we trust each other. That's what being an official means. It emanates from trusting each other. Not as a friend, SG. But as a person who can be trusted that you will defend the organization under the most difficult position. Imagine if one of these officials had resigned and followed the former deputy president. That's disloyalty. Don't ask me to share a meal with disloyal people. You are asking me to commit suicide. My son, very liberal in his approach. Don't know that, wait. Let's give them chance. That's when I tweeted those things of Zuma, those old videos of Zuma. When we got expelled from the ANC, Zuma and the top 6 of the ANC laughing. I said, boys, if they can get you, they will have you for breakfast and laugh about it. You get an opportunity to get to them. You don't use it. These people who sat with Floyd and knew Floyd was going, they were at the center of that planning my downfall. Had they caught me, they would have finished me off. That's how politics work. If they catch you, they will finish you. You catch them, you play with an opportunity, then you'll have yourself to blame. That's the problem because of this kind of business we're dealing with. Those are politics for you. I said, Ratanang, ask yourself a question. If they'd found me at my weakest, what would have happened to me? I know this because I'm from it. I'm from that. I know all of this that is prevailing. Where I get expelled, the people I grew up with, the people that I shared a meal with, the people that I didn't have to think twice about them. When I called them to come over so that we can form a political party, they didn't come. I slept with 10 friends before I was expelled. I woke up alone because they were never my friends. You are not going to ask me to travel that path again. I'm not going to do it. Never. I'm not going to do it. Not for anyone. I know what disloyalty means. And I can see one when it appears and I can touch it. They would have done that to me when I was young. Not now. The only people I feel bad about is their parents. Because most of them come from very beautiful mothers who love and support the EFF. And every time we deal with them like that, at the back of our minds is, you know, that mother, that grandmother, that father who took us in as their children. How will they feel about us now? But how will my grandmother feel if they were? How did she feel when they did that to me? Was there anyone there to consider her feelings? As these boys, because there are no girls anyway, as these boys misbehave, I always think about their parents. Because I thought we were loyal so much that we have even gone beyond issues of political meetings. Now we have introduced each other to families and all of that. I'm thinking of their parents. But it's not us. I never initiated any fight with anyone. I never said anyone and said, let's fight so and so. They did that. They went to sit and say, we have to drop him. We have to finish him off. You know, the EFF is still very young, 11 years old. To wake up and say we've got loyal members and loyal supporters is deceiving. Loyalty comes out of longevity. I will not say those things I said in Leanne's podcast because she was very angry and the national chair came and said, put age restriction on that thing because you say wrong things. It's longevity. You know, it must take long. It must not be quick. Longevity. That's where loyalty comes from. It's like, that's what revolution is. Revolution comes out of longevity. Revolution is numbers, numbers. Some people say size doesn't matter. Size. They say size doesn't matter. But in the revolution, size matters. Size. Longevity is very important. As we build this organization, which is still at its formative stages, you must expect the staff riders. You must expect the position mongers who fail to achieve certain things where they are and think the quickest way is through this way. As they fall on the way, you can't say the organization has failed. Because out of those experiences, out of that hard-working membership and leadership, loyal and disciplined members are going to emerge. And we are very patient with that process. We are ranking ourselves 10 out of 10. I'm blowing my own horn. TG saying she's not blowing. Hey, these people will not blow a horn for you. You will wait for a horn, it will never come. I'm blowing my own horn. I'm blowing a horn. You know, as Bashabi, when we are in a gathering of the Bashabis, there's always a horn that must be blown to officiate that this is an official gathering of Bashabi. So we did very well. That's why I'm prepared. If they say this team must go back with you, I'm prepared to go back with them. I have no problem, none whatsoever, with any individual